Hi guys, welcome to a video talking about Haikyuu Season 3, Episode 8, I believe. First of all, just let me apologize for the state that I am in right now because, what you don't know is that it is literally 4 AM right now and I just came home from like a social event, let's just like keep it at that, which is just like, so, I look like shit, my brain is like a bit fuzzy, but I should be able to do this just fine, because this is not actually a review, so you can't hate me if I miss stuff and if I don't analyze this properly, because if I did, I would spoil stuff. But I really enjoyed this episode, especially because I got home from that social event and I was just like completely drained. Like as an introvert, social events are so draining, so just like sitting down, just watching Haikyuu was just so relieving? A big relief, but yeah, it was just really nice to do that. And this episode I really enjoyed, despite the fact that Suki was in it for only 20 seconds, but of course he's not the only person I care about. But it was really great for Hinata. I really liked he had his blocking moment, his spiking moment, his taking a ball to the face moment, and all of those really nice things. I really liked the scene where he takes the ball to the face because, again, the mini explanation that they kind of forgot. It's not as important as 2 episodes ago where I got really angry about what they missed, but basically in the manga, Hinata kind of further says that the reason that he took it to the face was also because he's gotten so used to taking these balls to the face at this point that he knew that if he just did that he could like survive just fine, because as he said, he just didn't want it to hit his nose because then he'd have a nosebleed and he would get taken out of the match, or yeah. So I really like that moment because it shows that even though he's thinking, his ideas for dealing with stuff are still a little unconventional, but then again, he couldn't really have done much else in that situation. I just really like that unique side of Hinata. And just having Ushiwaka being so fucking annoyed by Hinata, by the way he's just so annoying. Also because I really like that we had that explanation of like what really ticks Ushiwaka off in terms of Hinata, because when he saw him for the first time he was like, okay, here's a midget, but this midget has like talent, he has the speed and he has the jumping power and stuff like that, so I expect for him, because he also talks really big and he's with Kageyama, who's of course a renowned setter and stuff like that, even though Ushiwaka has like his problems with him, but he's still good. So he expected for Hinata to be this talented guy who's smart like other small players, because they have more bumps on the roads and they have to deal with stuff a lot more than the tall, strong players. And Hinata is just so unconventional that it just pisses him off to no end that he's still there able to fight, because he's so different and his value is not like, it's not the same as other small giants, it's so different, and it just pisses him off, especially like taking into consideration what Tendo said in the last episode with the unknown being what is scary, and that is exactly what Hinata is Ushiwaka. Like, he is the unknown, the big unknown factor in what the hell is this player. And we just in general have a lot of people from the opposite teams clashing. Like, we have Tendo being frustrated with Suga and with Nishinoya, especially when they do that last synchronized attack where he's like, maybe we'll go to this guy or this guy, and he's like, well, as soon as I start thinking like that, I know I have lost this battle. And then I think it's Tanaka who scores a point or something. But I just really like how they're like, we have like those conflicting ideas, and while I do really hate Washijo-sensei, it fit very well with the theme of this episode, that we have like his struggle from when he was a volleyball player and he was really small, and he knew that even though he was good at receiving and he was quite good at jumping and stuff like that, the fact that he was small was a setback, and compared to the people who were tall and also had talent, because it wasn't that they were just tall without talent, they had talent as well. He could never really be in that stage, so he was like, okay, should I then try to fight even though I'm small, or should I just not do that? And in the end he decided that no, that's not actually what I want, I just want a simple pure strength that can just blast through everything, and that's when we see Ushiwaka. And I just really like that, because that is basically what's the difference between Shiratorizawa, who are based around pure strength, and then Karasuno, who are based upon creative strength. Strength in numbers and strength in individuals, like I think that was episode 5 or something. So I really like that. So I like the theme that we have going in this episode. And also I'm just jumping all around, but you've seen the episode, so it's fine. By the end of by the end of the episode, where we have, I think it's around the deuce, you know what I'm talking about, where Karasuno are looking down, and I think it's either Goshiki or Ushiwaka who just scored, and they're just in a really bad situation. Just have the shading looked really great on their on everyone, and then you look down, and then you just have Ukai standing up and saying, in volleyball, you look up. This is a sport where you look up, and then you have the music coming in. It was just so great. Like, I really liked that moment. And also talking about music, when they had I don't even remember, I think it was a technical timeout, and you have the Karasuno cheers, like they're starting to like overthrow, I was about to say, but they're starting to become louder than the Shiratorizawa cheer, which is like kind of disrupting for the Shiratorizawa cheerleaders and stuff like that, because they're always the loudest and the best and whatever. And then they start singing their anthem or whatever the hell, and that was just so well, because the atmosphere that created was so much in favor of Shiratorizawa, and you could just feel like the pride in their team and just everything that they have put into this, because even Shirabu at some point, they're having like their spat, going back and forth, and you have some inner monologues of Karasuno being like really fired up, and then you have Shirabu just saying, what the hell, we're the stronger team, will win. And that just coupled with that anthem and just the focus we've had on Shiratorizawa is just so great, and I can just feel the pride coming out of the screen that the players and the people who cheer for them have in this team, and it's just so great. And another thing, keeping the topic of pride, Goshiki has some really great, I'm not gonna say character development, but like he has some really great character moments, because he messes up quite a few times, like with some spikes, some blocks, some receives, and just overall he has some mistakes, and it slowly gets to him, so that in the end he makes mistake not because he's not good enough, but because he starts doubting himself and because he gets so agitated. And then you have Ushiwaka just being like, why are you doubting yourself, and why are you making these mistakes when you are as good as you are? And everything just falls into place for Goshiki, and he's just like, yes. And he's stopped wavering, he stopped doubting himself, and he just started playing perfectly. And you have whoever Shiratorizawa player said it, like, Ushiwaka doesn't try to sugarcoat anything, he doesn't try to lift your spirits or anything, he just tells you the plain truth. And while that's not always the best strategy for like captain, for Ushiwaka it works, because he is this super ace, and when he tells you the truth, and it's something as powerful as you are talented, you take it to you, and that'll be enough to lift you up. Because having a player like Ushiwaka saying like, you are strong, you should not be faltering because I know your strength, that is like the biggest compliment you could get. And I just find that so amazing. Like, that moment was so great. I really like this episode, and because I watched this as I was quite tired and just kind of like, yeah, it was like I wasn't cheering, but I could just feel like in my heart and in my soul like the pride and just the strong moment. It was a really good experience I had in this episode. And I really like when we have Kageyama coming back, and off the bat he does some really strong attacks. We have the thing with Hinata, the first attack that they do, and him just going all out from the beginning, because he's had his little time to relax and get some stamina back because he hasn't been playing, so of course he has a little energy, and it's just really great. Last thing I'm gonna talk about is of course Tsukishima, because he comes back in this episode. I mean, he left in the previous episode, but he comes back here, and I just really like that, because it's like he comes in and brings this ray of light back, because they're in a pickle. Like, Ukai just lifted their spirits, but they're still in a pickle, like, just, yeah, and a lot of the crowd were like, oh my god, what are they gonna do now? Because when it comes down to it, Shiratorizawa are still the ones that has the upper hand because they have the stamina, they have the experience, they've been through 5 sets before, and Karasuno is still a team trying to deal with stuff like that. And then in the previous episode, when you have Tsukishima being taken out, they stopped having something that could stop Ushiwaka. And now Tsuki coming back, that's just like, that's so good for them because he is, as I said so many times in the previous episode, he's like the centerpiece of their defense, and he puts so much stress on Shiratorizawa and especially Ushiwaka and Tendo and Shirabu. Like, they're 3 of their main players he puts so much stress on, and it's so important for Tsukishima to come back now. And just the way you have Hitoka running to the stands, and you just have Saiko being like, oh my god, Hitoka, you're here, and then you see this ray of light and you can see Tsuki running towards them, and it's just like a hero returning to the court, and it's just amazing. Like, I love everything about that. I remember in the manga it was just such a great moment. I really like Tsuki. I really like him, in case you didn't notice. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here because this episode is just packed with so many really wonderful moments. And I'm afraid to spoil anything if I go any further. So yeah, if you liked anything that I had to say, you can leave a thumbs up on the video, leave it in the comments below what you thought of this episode, and if you want to see more of me, you can subscribe. And until next time, bye!